Hey, what's up, everybody? The V Club here, coming at you with another video. Literally, it's about anything and everything. Just anything that comes up that just seems worthwhile to talk about. And looking at this, though, there's a lot to talk about. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna get to it. All right, as I've been doing this ongoing coverage of the goof ball himself, Gavin Newsom, and of course his wild decision making. But the LA wildfire, all right, is the has been the focus, and then I've talked about other stuff, but lately it's been about this LA wildfire focus because it's in my backyard in California, and I just wanted to kind of stay on top of this and really just show you the lame brain himself, Gavin Newsom, as well as his I guess compadre, his partner in crime, Dumb and Dumber, right? Gavin Newsom and what's her name, Karen Bass, all right. And so the L.A. mayor, that is, all right, because you got these liberal Democrat dummies that think they know what's best for whatever is in their respective positions. Like Gavin Newsom keeps doing all this bullshit in California, right? It's completely the opposite of what we are and what we should be, and we could be so much better. And then you look at LA, which is just a micro portion, but the largest city in California. And but of course, it's not California running the state. It's just the largest city, the second largest city in the United States. And you have Karen Bass, right? Which she's a lame brain herself, right? And so, you have this LA wildfires out of control because of these two imbeciles that don't know what they're doing, right? And keep on budget cutting, budget cutting, budget cutting, to the point where they should be doing things like, for example, just maintain the greens, right? Don't be an environmental nut and sit there and be like, oh, you can't do this because it'll hurt the environment, right? How about we got to clean this up because if we don't, fires can start. Who knows what the problems are, right? That can potentially happen. And now it's happened, right? Could be the largest disaster in U.S. history at the end of this. So we're going to take a look at the progress of this LA wildfire. You can see the drone footage here of 1 week after the fires began. I don't know how much of this they'll let me play, but let's just play a little bit of this here. They might make me say like they might have a pop-up saying, oh, you got to let's see if they'll do a pop-up saying you can't watch this without a subscription or whatever. This is the LA Times footage. Look at this. Crazy stuff, huh? This is a drone video of the Palisades. It's crazy how some of it it's just ravagely destroyed, and then some of it is just standing still. It's crazy. Yeah, all on the coastal highway there, it's all destroyed. Let me just mute this thing. Yeah, I'll just mute that part so they don't be like, oh, you use the music. It's like, come on. Like, they try to get you anything, you know what I mean? But yeah, check that out. It's pretty crazy. This is the first time I've actually seen footage that wasn't a fire footage, it's more like the aftermath. So this is the first time I've seen it myself. Man, this is crazy. I don't know. I mean, as close as it is to the beaches, I can't imagine. I mean, I could be wrong, but I can't imagine building homes again along this beachy area because it's so close to the beach, and you got to worry about erosion and the tides and all that in the future. So I don't know if it's something to actually build on anymore. I mean, like I said, I could be wrong. I mean, I guess money makes the world go round. So maybe they'll just build again, whatever. But at the same time, is it even worthwhile to build along the beach because of potential stuff? But at the same time, you got the Coastal Commission, and the Coastal Commission, how they are. They think they got the biggest power of it all in the state, and all these commissions and committees that have been constructed by California politicians and reinforced by Gavin Newsom and creation of more committees and commissions and all that. It's like, to me, it's stupid. They should just wipe all that out and just let the government, which is the state government in this sense, decide what to do with everything, instead of these commissions that decide everything and permit everything and all this crap that they're doing. But yeah, so this is the Pacific Coast Highway. They said that it will never be the same again. I agree with that. I think it'll never be the same again. And then you see here, these prisoners are fighting in the LA fires for less than, what does it say, $2 an hour. Well, think about it. Here's my thought on it, all right? One, they're not forced to do it. Two, they've been specially trained in these camps for the purpose of, one, skills to earn and certify. Two, it is something that helps gear towards, a considerable discharge on record and on your file. And three, once you do get out, that's job placement right there. And this whole wage thing, here's the thing: you're in prison. I mean, you're in prison. You're still a prisoner of the state. You're still a convicted felon, right, in the state. So by doing this is a step towards responsibility, a step towards rehabilitation, because that's the whole idea, right? Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, right? And so it's you're going towards corrections, right? You're correcting yourself, and you're trying to demonstrate that you are suitable to be back in society. And so this whole fight about, these people don't get enough, these people don't get enough, those people don't get enough. Again, you're in prison and they're not forced to do the work. All right, because they have a choice. They don't have to do the work. They feel like they're not getting paid enough or whatever it is. But this is in essence skills, certification, and experience that they are earning while in quote-unquote prison, because you're a prisoner. And that's what it is. And you don't have to do the job, and no one's ever forced to do the job. It's just what it is. And believe it or not, living in these fire camps that they live in is a lot better than prison itself. It's almost like living freely, except you're still, a prisoner to the state. So if you see the conditions of how they live in the fire camps, they're actually living well. They're living really well. It's almost being free, but not quite free. And I've seen it firsthand myself, because I've, witnessed, and I've toured fire camps before, and so I know, I've seen it, right? And let's just say I know the background of how the system works. So you have all these dumbass advocates and dumbass people that don't know any better. They only see things from the surface. They see things from the outside, but they don't really know what happens on the inside, or see things on the inside to know what's really going on. So they shouldn't be speaking. All right, it's just like those dummies out there that try to advocate for illegals, because in New York, right? How they say, "Oh, we got Billionaires Row. All these hotels are empty. We should be housing them all in these hotels. What's their loss for it? How about this? How about we bunk them up in your house and see how you feel, all right? That they're in your house, even though they're illegal. That type of thing. So these advocates and protesters and all these people that try to say, hey, well, how about if you do that and see how it feels instead of trying to put it on everybody else and force people to do it, and then you'll see for yourself that it's all wrong. All right. So yeah, that's my thought on this whole prisoner stuff here. And nothing against prisoners. I mean, that's just what it is, and I don't see anything wrong with the way the system's set up, because prisoners do have a lot of rights, believe it or not, and they're not forced to do anything they don't want to do, believe it or not. Again, it's all these sort of advocates and people that don't know any better. Let's see what else is going on here. Oh, look at this. So yeah, the recall call for Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom, right? Don't be a Karen. Don't be a Gavin. And of course, look at this one. So she got recalled, Shang Tao. She's not all that, but I still bang her. And, Shang Tao is now facing criminal charges. So back before her recall, her house got raided by the FBI. All right. And Oakland's been falling apart ever since she joined, got in office. She lost a lot, in terms of the city. She lost the Oakland A's is the last straw. She lost the Raiders. I think she lost the Warriors too. I think she might have lost all three teams. But the last one was the Oakland A's, where she dropped the ball on that one as well. And so she lost the only In-N-Out to ever close in the history of all In-N-Out burgers in Oakland was the first location to ever close, and that was under her watch because of crime and all that, and fear for safety. So you have that. And yeah, Oakland is just a hot mess. It's just a piece of shit, trash city that it's just a dump, and they should just bulldoze that city. And she's partly responsible for it, but it's years of that. As well. They've improved over the years, but when she joined, it got worse because of all this, false facts about, the injustice in law enforcement, and all this DEI bullshit they're doing out here now, and soft on crime that the DA was doing, and then it all unraveled, right? How bad it really is, and it really just took apart Oakland, that they had enough with her and recall her and the DA. And so, had you guys had enough of Karen Bass in LA and Gavin in California, his political aspirations of being president, you guys can't believe he wants to be president, right? Like, you really want to vote for that guy? I mean, really? Of all the lame brain decisions he's made and fucked up all our money, right, that we pay for in the state, and we still got high bills on everything, yet there's no improvements in anything whatsoever. The power grid's terrible. There's no what is that? The train, high speed rail, right? You got illegals coming in that is being given everything, health insurance, homes, food, whereas we have us that lives here, and we can't get nearly all that stuff, but yet they're getting paid for and covered, and for us, we got to pay out of our pockets for everything, right? To gaffes of not simply maintaining the roads, right? But continue to raise our taxes because they overspend on everything. And then you wonder why we have problems in California, right? And corruption for people like her to get recalled, the San Francisco mayor to get ousted in her mayoral race. She's trash. San Diego's trash because they're a border city. You name it. I mean, it's all just fucked up trash. All right. So, yeah. So let's see what's going on with this recall or this criminal charges here. I'm not surprised because they're all corrupt, right? And so I'm not surprised at all. It's too bad though because she has some nice tatas, and I would bang her. But anyhow, let's see here.
The Chronicle now reporting a recalled Oakland Mayor Shang Tao has been indicted by a federal grand jury. Good evening. I'm Ryan Yamamoto.
And this is a Biden All right, this is a Biden FBI. All right, this is not even a Trump FBI yet. So this is huge because usually Democrats don't do that to each other unless you did something wrong to them first. You know what I'm saying? So her house got raided. Even Eric Adams in New York's house got raided before, but nothing's been said about that yet.
You may remember back in June, the FBI raided Tao's home that she shares with her partner. Agents also swarmed several other properties connected to a prominent Oakland family. Our Lauren Tons has been digging into this latest development.
Yeah, Ryan, well, FBI and U.S. attorneys' offices not commenting or confirming the indictment, but we do know that the FBI has scheduled a news conference to announce the results of a major law enforcement action, which may finally reveal some
Not
answers
surprised,
in a
they're all
corruption
corrupt.
investigation that's entangled several Oakland power players. 7 months after FBI agents descended on the Oakland home of then-Mayor Sheng Tao in an early morning raid, a report that she's been criminally indicted by a grand jury.
Not surprised.
Criminal attorney Randall Knox says an indictment suggests the charges could be severe.
What immediately goes through my head is that somebody's in trouble. They're presumed innocent, but, federal prosecutors and the FBI generally don't indict somebody unless they think they have sufficient evidence, and usually they have cooperators.
Tao did not respond to our request for comment. She has repeatedly said she has done nothing wrong and told CBS News Bay Area back in July she was not the target of the FBI's investigation.
I have done nothing wrong, and I expect that there will be an opportunity for us to say more.
You know what's funny? They always deny and deflect and deny and deflect and all that stuff. And they'll just lie straight to your face till the very end, like till the time they get like really caught red-handed, and that's it, right? And then they got really nothing to say for it. But they're just gonna just keep deny until it's like it's right here in your face, babe. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on now.
But, not at this time. I'm also fully cooperating with the investigation, and I look forward to the opportunity to vindicate myself.
Last June, the FBI seized phones belonging to Tao and her partner, Andre Jones.
Oops.
They also raided 3 properties linked to the politically influential Duong family and their company, California Waste Solutions, which holds Oakland's curbside recycling contract. We've reached out to the Duongs and have not yet heard back. While the FBI has not released any details on the scope of its investigation.
So it's like saying, for example, I'm going to just go out on a limb here. Let me see here.
A federal grand jury issued a subpoena.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I think they made a deal with this, garbage company, whatever, to be like exclusive, whatever they are, recycling company, to be like the exclusive player, pay to play, right? They paid an X amount of dollars to Sheng Tao in order to be the exclusive, recycler or whatever it is. No competition, no questions asked. We are exclusive to Oakland, and we could do other things above and beyond, and so because we're a powerful family, we got connections, and because she's done flights to places that they were connected to before too, and all that stuff in Asia and all that. So I think it's going to go back to that, this connection here.
Requesting documents related to Sheng Tao's mayoral campaign, as well as communications related to Andre Jones. Tao has denied Jones had any role in her administration.
The standard to indict somebody is relatively low. It doesn't require that you prove that they are probably guilty or they're guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. It only requires that you prove
the standards for the Biden DOJ FBI is actually very high, because they don't like to go after anybody unless you did like truly something wrong, to like where it's like so like evident, and it just makes them look really bad. Okay, now they're going to go after you to be like, hey, you've been very bad, and they slap you on the hand type of thing.
There's probable cause to believe that a crime has been committed. But as we discussed earlier, federal prosecutors usually want to have sufficient evidence to have confidence that they can prove it beyond a reasonable doubt.
The subpoena also requested documents related to Evolutionary Homes, a company involving the Duongs and Mario Juarez. Last month, the Alameda County District Attorney filed a motion alleging that Juarez and California Waste Solutions worked to help Tao win the mayor's race in 2022 in exchange for access to taxpayer-funded contracts. The documents also revealed that Andre Jones...
Yeah, because, a lot of times when you're campaigning, the more money you campaign with, a lot more goes through in terms of like advertisements, just getting exposure in every facet of any way possible, to really, campaign and market yourself, the outreach. And a lot of times you need a lot of money to do all that. And so it's being said that they probably put out a lot of money to get her to win just to be that exclusive player.
Received checks from Juarez. Well, the Oakland Public Ethics Commission has had a long-running investigation into the Duongs. They've been accused of using straw donors to fund political campaigns, including Tao's. Ryan?
All right, thanks, Lauren.
The straw donors are like, my small deposit donors, like $25 and stuff. And so that way it doesn't look like you have like some big, millionaire or high elites or something throwing in big sums of money. It's kind of just spread out through these straw donors. So it doesn't look, or at least on surface, it doesn't look like it's crazy at all. But it still was, they were still able to siphon through all that.
And of course, we will be there tomorrow morning at the FBI and the Justice Department press conference for their announcement. Stay with us for all the latest.
It's fascinating. Let's see here what people got to say. Citizens in Oakland made the right to recall. Yeah, she's corrupt. I mean, they're all corrupt. All these Democrats, they're all corrupt, right? That's why they're in a mess that they're in. They spin, and look what happens. They still want us to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just what it is. You don't think that these companies or corporations or organizations like nonprofits are in the pockets of Gavin Newsom for all the lame brain bullshit, New Green Deal, and all that stuff that he's been doing? Come on now. All right? You guys got to be naive if you truly think that Gavin Newsom is just doing it because of I don't think it's truly all his own beliefs, right? But I can't really, and then of course, when you have things like the George Soros, right, where, you're soft on crime, criminal justice reform and all that. Look what happens. Has it been reformed? I mean, no, because look how terrible it's been. It's been reformed to be bad, right? So everything's so bad that he's completely dropped the ball on everything, and then that's the reason why we have this wildfire situation out of control here, right? And he'll sit there and have his little gyration of answers and stuff, such as this interview, and it's like, come on now, really? They're already talking about LA 2.0, all this crap, it just, none of this stuff makes any sense, So, by the way, though, before we jump back to recalls, and we're talking about wildfires, let's talk about what's the latest in terms of containment and all that. Now, deaths have reached up to 27 people now, and the Palisades and Eden fires are still going on. All right, the strongest winds have weakened, and they said that dangerous conditions are expected again next week. All right, and so, what's up, Miss Bethany Frankel? What is she? Philanthropist and influencer Bethany Frankel. Further than name, but I really don't know who she is. It's not bad looking for an older milfy chick. Look at this one. All right, let's see here. What is the latest in terms of containment progress? There we go. So, yeah, containment jumps. It definitely did, because the last time I saw containment, look at Eden Fire. Now they're at 65%. All right, it increased from hours earlier when they was at 55%. And then Palisades, they were like at 19. Now they're at 27%. So that was pretty good. That's a big jump. And of course, Autofire and Ventura's remains 85%. So they still remain fairly high there. And the only other one would be the one up north. Is there a map? I might have skipped over it. Okay. Yeah, they didn't show a map here. Hopefully they'll show a map so you can see that. Yeah, 27% contained. So that's cool. It's slowly making progress. So it looks like they're allowing evacuees to return. Very nice of Otani to donate $500,000. All right. So yeah, we'll see what happens here in terms of that. We saw the drone footage. 18 people missing right now. So that's the footage there. So we all know they're corrupt. Karen Bass is probably corrupt as well. I mean, come on. To mismanage LA like she's been doing as well, right? Whatever the whole reservoir in the Palisades backyard is, whether it's her responsibility, his responsibility, it doesn't matter. They're responsible for the failure of LA and the fire of LA, right? And it's funny how they'll just deflect and all that stuff. And the minute Republicans do something wrong, oh man, they're all over it, right? So yeah. Yeah, it's definitely incompetent decision making. And then look at it, everybody's going crazy. All right, look at Michael Rappaport here. He goes ballistic on Newsom over LA fire. You're done. Let's see what he has to say. All right.
Gavin with the good hair, Newsom. You thought you were going to be president. You're never, ever, ever going to be president. Gavin with the good hair, with the hair gel, little Nancy's nephew. Gavin with the good hair, Newsom. Gavin with the good hair. You're done, Gavin with the good. Talking about, we want a Trump-proof California. How about fireproofing California? You're talking about Trump this, Trump that. He's not even president. I don't give a what he said. This is on you.
Oh, that shit's funny. And yeah, exactly right here. Newsom's policies have destroyed California. Yeah, I mean, couldn't have said it any better. Let's see what they have to say here. All right, so you have
the speaker. He is.
You have Hannity, and then you have Patrick from the Valuetainment. Both very good places for real news. All right, no bullshit.
Correct. Any aid has got to insist that the science of forestry be implemented so you, the American people, you don't have to keep bailing people out. These are predictable.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Like, they expect to be bailed out when there's the disaster, when they could have prevented disasters in the first place. But that's what these, sanctuary states, blue states do, right? New York's doing the same thing. They were bringing in all these illegals, and then they expected the federal government to help them out. And it's like, no, you brought them in. Yeah, there was people that were sent there, but you brought the majority of them in. You wanted to make that kind of like the hub of illegals. So you can't expect the government to bail you out on that one. That's on you, when you could have just said, no, send you back. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what Texas did. They could have just accepted them, but they said no. They put their foot down and said, no, we're not going to accept this shit. Right? So that's the difference between the Republican frame of mind and the Democrat frame of mind. Where Democrats expect to spin. Oh, shit, we have a problem. We'll have the government bail us out. It's like, no, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Just like how Obama bailed out the car companies, the mortgage businesses. If Obama didn't bail them out, they should have just died. And I honestly thought they should have just died, but that's just me.
Santa Ana winds, they are predictable wildfires. They got to clear out the brush and do things like, control burns and maybe not put a little shrub above the safety of people's lifeblood, their home. Podcast host Patrick, David highlighted the cost of construction, came up with 5 possible solutions that the governor, the state, could use to pay for it. He could ask Trump and taxpayers for help. He could raise California's already high taxes even more. He can tax the California billionaires. We hear about that, chase them out of California even more. Blame and deflect, which he's already done, or frankly resign, which is never going to happen. He's the host
Gavin
of
Newsom.
the TBD podcast, founder of Value Attainment Media Group. Patrick Bet-David is with us. Wait a minute.
Newsom's too
You're
arrogant.
part owner of the New York Yankees. How did you pull that off?
Sean, it's great to be on with you. One day I get a call from a man named Bob saying, I hear you're interested in being an owner of the Yankees. I said, yes. Year and a half later, all the background check, everything that happened, I became a minority owner, which was a very special day.
Guess what? They never called me. I would have been very interested if I could get even a half a share. Anyway, thanks for being with us. Look, to me, this is simple. Basic forestry, science, management, clear brush, fire retardant, building materials, control burns, put the lives and the homes of people above a plant. Let's start there. Why aren't they doing that?
So, Sean, bad policies have consequences. We saw this during COVID when California came up with all these policies, and I lived there for 24 years. You started seeing a mass exodus, first time since 1851, where the net migration was a negative in California. If you look at the numbers from July 2020 till April of 2024, the number one state with negative migration, net negative migration, is the state of California. 1.234 million people left us.
Yeah, he did a show about this yesterday, talking about the net migration loss of leaving California. And it's been no secret that people have left California, and Gavin Newsom's in denial about that, and maybe that's the reason why he's opened the state for illegals to come in, because Gavin Newsom's a moron, right? And so this state's just been run to the ground. And so, we got bigger problems coming up real soon, right? I'll talk about that in a minute.
State due to COVID policies. Now, those folks left because they were sick of their kids not going to school. They were sick of not having a life. They wanted to go out there, go to a restaurant. Maybe they moved to Texas. Maybe they moved to Florida. But the exodus we're about to see, Governor Newsom calls it Los Angeles 2.0. I call it California Exodus 2.0. Here's why. The average age of somebody that lives in LA is 37.
He's going to say 37, all right? And so, like I said, he talked about all this stuff yesterday on his own show that he does, his own podcast show, and he's going to talk about how they, are, at this age, you have a kid, you're considering buying a home. You're going to look at, is it worth buying a home in California with all these different things? And I think it's better off to leave California instead.
7 years old. Think about when you and I were 37 years old. What life events was taking place? Maybe you're having a kid or your second one. You're buying a house or your second one, thinking about starting a business.
Yeah, it's about starting a business as well. And when you factor in all the issues that you're going to run into with all that, it's like, man, is it worthwhile? Might as well just move, go to another state.
Thinking about a career change. So let's process this together. You sit there, if you choose to buy a house in California, you have to ask yourself this question. Do the current leaders of California come out with the policies, protect you from a future earthquake, protect you from a future fire, protect you from preventing insurance companies' prices of going up? Do you believe that's going to happen? The answer is no. Number two, if you choose to build a house and you want to rebuild, how long do you think it's going to take to get those permits? Probably 12, 24, 36 months. Number three, if you choose to have kids, why would you raise your kids in the school system of California, no matter what part of California you're in? Why would you do that? So you don't trust the system. Number four, if you choose to start a small business in California, do you think they've cleaned the homelessness? They got $24 billion of taxpayer money, and homelessness just went up. In America, we have 770,000 of homeless people in America. 181 of it is in California. This man has been the governor for 6 years, the lieutenant governor prior to that for 8 years. His policies have destroyed a once great state. This
Well,
is
let me ask you
why
this.
you saw that tweet.
All right, so we have hydrants that don't work. We have empty reservoirs. We find out $650 million allocated to make the port of LA green. We found out that the state, you know, that they have $2.6 billion allocated for firefighting, but $101 million was cut from that. We know that the city of Los Angeles cut money. We know that they're spending $100 billion on electric vehicles. We know that the city of Los Angeles is spending $800 grand on electric street sweepers, but they're cutting the fire department budget. How do you fix stupid? Because it's all stupid and it's all preventable.
Yeah, all this green bullshit.
You saw the exchange with Mayor Bass where she went up there and she said, well, I'll never, as a mayor, I'll never leave the states. I'll never go abroad. She left 5 times. The leaders are not leading that state. But think about it this way. The Palisades, you look at all the fires, 80,000 acres, 24 death toll that we know about right now, all the homes, $250 billion of damages today. Reservoir Santa Ynez, 117 million gallons of water it can have. Since February of last year, it's been...
It has zero maintenance done to that, which is crazy, right? I talked about that, you know, in terms of, like, why is that even empty, right? Santa Ynez Reservoir empty. Why? You know, it doesn't make sense. Why was that empty? And they're supposed to fix something that only takes like a week to fix. Maybe if you give it a month to fix, and yet there's nothing. Right, so yeah, it's just crazy how it doesn't make any sense.
Been zero. Why? Because there was a hole in the cover that they had. That was 1 mile away from the fire that took place. We can look at so many different angles, Sean. It's just bad policies. And they sit there thinking people are not going to be leaving. The next phase of people leaving, maybe Hollywood doesn't leave. Maybe the boomers in California that have lived there for a while don't leave.
Let me tell you
maybe
the
some of the
thing.
folks that are sitting there that have family ties, restaurants, businesses don't leave. But that 35 to 45-year-old that knows the next 20 years are going to be the best money-making years of their careers, they're looking at Nevada, they're looking at Texas, and they're looking at Florida.
And I can't blame them for looking at any one of those. But I will tell you, they don't get a penny unless they adopt the science of forestry so that the American taxpayer won't have to give one more penny to California. Frankly, in many ways, they should have to fix this themselves. They elected these people. They wanted these environmental radicals in office, and this is what they got. And sadly, I bet they elect Kamala next. That's pathetic.
That's the sad part. That's the sad part. That I'm betting you guys are gonna elect Kamala next. All right, because you guys are a bunch of morons. All right. But lastly, let's talk about 2 things real quick. All right, looting and looting and insurance. All right, insurance. They're already trying to go after owners of the property and be like, hey, I know you're at a loss. And some of these people either have no insurance or underinsured. And they're like, hey, I know you're at a loss. So, you know, I know that it's going to cost a whole lot to put a lot of money to rebuild. But if you want to, you know, sell off that land, I'll give you some, money here, cold hard cash, and you could rebuild somewhere, and use that towards something to rebuild on, and which is like poaching for land. These developers and stuff, which supposedly Gavin Newsom has stepped in to put a moratorium on. It's only for like 90 days, but that's already been started, right? This whole land poaching by developers. That's this part of this LA 2.0 deal. So that's under the insurance stuff, because insurance rates were either high, that either they got off with no insurance, or they're on the fair plan, or they're just or they got canceled just before this thing happened, and it's like, oh shit, So yeah, that stuff, and then of course the looting, and this is where the biggest outcry has finally started to happen, is because of the looting that's going on. That now celebrities are finally like, oh wait, we can't have this happen, like this whole soft on crime stuff, right? They're taking our stuff, right? This is where people are finally starting to speak up about, we got to do something about this looting stuff. And that is why they're trying to push for the recalls of, say like Karen Bass or Gavin Newsom and all that. Because, of course, mismanagement, the decision making is bad, and the looting of everything that they seem to be able to arrest and get, but man, they can't outright stop it altogether. What are they going to do? Jail them and then like release them again because they're soft on crime? That's LA and California for you. But yeah, so recall time, I think they should go. All right, because that's where it's at. Anyhow, I just wanted to talk about all that stuff. Comment down below, let me know what you think. Subscribe to the bell icon for your daily content on anything and everything. This is the VC Club. Thanks. Or VC, sorry. The VC. Thanks. Look at this. Mayor blames the county and other city leaders for homelessness crisis. What? Like, are you surprised? The mayor blames the county and other city leaders. Yeah, we got a whole lot of problems here. And, yeah, other than that, I'll see you next one.